In the early days of the space race, the Soviet Union projected unstoppable dominance. The first satellite, the first dog, the first man in space. But behind the propaganda was a wall of secrecy, where failures were hidden, records were edited, and some stories were buried so deep that they became legends. One of those legends is the mystery of the lost cosmonauts. The conspiracy began in Italy with two teenage brothers, Achille and Giovanni Giudica Cordiglia. Radio hobbyists with homemade equipment, they learned how to intercept signals from Soviet spacecraft. At first, it was harmless: heartbeats, beeps, basic telemetry. Then, the transmissions changed. They claimed to capture distress signals the Soviets never announced. Recordings of cosmonauts breathing heavily, like their oxygen was running out. A capsule spinning out of control, alarms blaring, then silence. And the most chilling, a female voice in 1963 calmly reporting rising heat and seeing flames before her signal fades forever. The Soviets denied any such missions, but the tape sounded real enough to shake the world. Fueling the theory were strange gaps in Soviet records. Early cosmonaut candidates appeared in official photos one year and vanished the next. Their names were removed from lists, their careers abruptly ended, and families were told not to ask questions. Meanwhile, launch pads showed signs of unreported explosions. Documents referenced classified orbital experiments, and major disasters like the Nedelin catastrophe, which killed over 70 people, were covered up for decades. If the Soviets hid that, what else could they hide? Some researchers believe the USSR, desperate to beat the US into space, may have launched secret manned tests before Gagarin's flight in 1961. If those missions failed, they would have been erased instantly. Others suspect the recordings intercepted in Italy were real, but linked to illegal or off-the-books missions, test flights no one was meant to survive. Official history insists Yuri Gagarin was the first, but the truth is complicated. Soviet archives are incomplete. Many documents were destroyed. And even today, Russia acknowledges several early deaths that were hidden for decades. If those were covered up, why not others? There is no confirmed proof of lost cosmonauts, but there is no definitive disproof either. The tapes remain mysterious. The missing names remain unexplained. And the early Soviet space program remains one of the most secretive operations in modern history. So the legend endures, half conspiracy, half Cold War ghost story. A reminder that humanity's first steps into the cosmos may have left behind voices, drifting in the static, calling out from missions the world was never meant to know.